From Martin Archery, and this is the final video on the NXT 39 setup, and I just want to go through some of the things that I found out about trying to set up a bow the same way and setting up the NXT. Primarily the NXT cams, which, you know, the NXT cams come on our Exxon line, our NXT line, and the Max 33. Basically a two-track binary system, but some of the features that really set the NXT cam apart is the mod stops, and then in conjunction with our limb stop. You know, this bow also has our tri-lock, which I've been through this in the other videos. I really want to hit home the setup portion of it and how I really worked with the bow to get it to feel just like my primary. I had the stabilizers on it. I just took them off today because we had a tournament coming up. And so I put them back on my primary. This bow is ready to go for my secondary. It's sighted in, it's shooting great. It's shooting almost as good, if not as good. But the problem is that in my mind, my primary bow is still my #1 bow. But some of the things I noticed was when I was really fine tuning the holding weight, I'm more of a feel type shooter. I don't lower my shoulder. I use more of a muscle structure than I do a bone structure when I'm shooting. I feel like for me, it gives me precision, especially on 12 rings, compared to if I just lower my shoulder and force my pin into an area and execute a shot. So because I'm such a feel shooter, and a lot of people are, you know, I have to get my holding weight and the feel of the bow just the way I want. So when I engage my mod stops, it actually changes the curve a little bit. And when the cable comes around, it softens the rollover. It helps the bow load up a little bit more. And when I noticed when I was having pin oscillation vertically, I could fix that with my mod stops. Since I'm shooting a button, if I was just shooting back tension, I would probably just shoot the mod stops. But since I'm shooting the thumb button, I like to engage my limb stop right at the time that my mod stops kind of max out on the holding weight. So one thing I noticed with my limb stop is that kind of adjusting my holding weight affects my pin motion left and right. So by fine tuning my mod stop and my limb stop, I can stop my pin oscillation from vertical or horizontal and fine tune it to where the pin is just completely steady for my feel. One of the other nice things too about the limb stop is you'll see it's elliptical shape where it's thinner on one side and thicker on the other. I always set the thicker side where it's going to engage the limb sooner. And then as I realize my holding weight's a little strong and my draw length's a little short, I tighten this up and it'll rotate on that soft spacer and it'll actually get tighter. It won't move. The barrel will move, but it won't slide. And I'm just locking it in tighter. I'm lowering my holding weight and I'm lengthening my draw length. The funny thing is yesterday when I pulled out my primary bow, it felt a little short and the holding weight felt a little heavy. So compared to this one, and I've been shooting this for 3 weeks. So first thing I did is I grabbed my 7/64 Allen wrench. I put a slight turn on my stop. It rotated slightly to the thinner side. It lengthened my draw length, lowered my holding weight, maybe a ½ pound, but it steadied my pin up. I shot this morning with my primary, felt great, shooting 12 rings. I know this bow's ready to go. So I'm happy with both bows. They both set up well. And I look forward to shooting some tournaments this year now that tournaments are getting back. Check us out at martinarchery.com. If you have any questions, feel free to get my number from Martin Archery and give me a call.